What if some of the artifacts of our past aren't just relics of human history, but evidence of life beyond our planet? Today we look at some of the strangest ancient objects ever found. These are real artifacts from ancient civilizations that could be alien in origin. The Tulli Papyrus is a mysterious artifact that some believe could document an ancient encounter with extraterrestrial beings. The story begins in 1933 when Alberto Tulli, a curator at the Vatican Museums, discovered a roll of papyrus in Cairo. This document supposedly dates back to the reign of Thutmose III, around 1480 BCE. After Tulli's death, the scroll suspiciously vanished. Years later, Italian Egyptologist Boris de Rachowiltz claimed to have found a transcription of the Tulli Papyrus, and according to his translation, the text describes a bizarre event. On a winter day, a disc appeared in the sky, approximately 164 feet long and 16.5 feet wide. The disc reportedly emitted a foul odor and had no visible head. As it approached, people were so shocked that they hit themselves in confusion. Then more discs appeared, shining brighter than the sun, followed by fish raining down from the sky. Pharaoh ordered incense offering to calm the Egyptian god of Amun-Ra and mandated that the occurrence be recorded for posterity. The Ica stones, which come from the Ica province in Peru, are made up of a type of volcanic rock. They vary widely in size. There's small palm-sized pieces to massive boulders over 1.5 feet across. What's interesting about these stones is what's carved on them. They seem to depict an unknown ancient civilization with astonishingly advanced technology. The figures are shown in scenes with all this complex technology and medical practices. Some stones depict surgeries like heart and brain operations, C-sections, organ transplants. There's also images that suggest knowledge of astronomy, with figures looking at the stars through telescopes, and carvings of flying machines and spaceships, or at least what looks a lot like them. So how could a civilization capable of such advanced technology have existed so long ago, and how is there no physical evidence of them outside of the images carved on these stones? No ruins, no artifacts, no remains have surfaced to support the existence of this society. So are these genuine relics of a long-lost civilization, or are they just hoaxes? The Dropa Stones are a series of mysterious artifacts that some claim are around 12,000 years old. These granite discs are said to feature inscribed markings that tell the story of an extraterrestrial crash landing on Earth. According to the legend, in 1937 an archaeological expedition in the Bayanhar Mountains in China, led by researcher Chi Pute, discovered 716 of these discs, along with the remains of beings with thin bodies and large heads. The story goes that after years of study at the Academy of Prehistory in Beijing, Chinese archaeologists managed to translate the markings. They said that the discs were created by extraterrestrial beings following a crash. Their research was published in an academic journal by one of the archaeologists named Su Nui, but the findings were highly criticized, and Nui was met with so much ridicule that he eventually just left the country, starting a new life in Japan, where he died shortly after. The Dropa Stones are said to measure about 1 foot in diameter and feature 2 grooves that form a double spiral around a central hole. The hieroglyph-like symbols are claimed to be visible only with a magnifying glass. Now, for a long time they were forgotten, but in 1966 the story of the stones resurfaced when a Soviet journalist with a name I cannot pronounce published an article claiming that the discs contained metals like cobalt and acted as electrical conductors, even producing a humming sound when placed on a special turntable. Till this day, though, we don't know where the stones are or if they really did exist. The Wandjina are figures in Aboriginal Australian culture known as cloud and rain spirits. You can find their rock art in the Kimberley region of Western Australia, with some paintings dating back around 4,000 years. According to local legends, the Wandjina came to Earth to create, teach, and guide the Aboriginal people. Eventually they disappeared, with stories saying some went underground while others returned to the sky, appearing as moving lights at night. What's really interesting is how the Wandjina are depicted in the artwork. They're drawn with big eyes and light skin, which looks very similar to the classic gray alien images many describe in modern UFO encounters. So it makes you wonder, were these ancient spirits inspired by actual alien encounters? Dogū statues are these little figures from Japan's Jomon period, dating back to around 14,000 to 400 BCE. The humanoid and animal statues have these exaggerated features, especially when it comes to their big eyes and tiny mouths. Yes, very alien-like. Some researchers think these statues were used in rituals or as talismans, maybe even a way to ward off negative spirits or energy. Others think they may be these ancient people's depictions of creatures they actually encountered, beings that may have visited from above. Thanks to Eric von Daniken's book Chariots of the Gods, which posits that ancient cultures had contact with aliens, the Dogū have become pretty well known in the world of ancient alien conspiracy theories. A lot of these statues do kinda look like depictions of ancient astronauts clad in spacesuits, and who wouldn't want to believe that our ancestors encountered alien beings? It's just a cool idea. In July of 2014, something really interesting happened in Chhattisgarh, India. The State Department of Archaeology and Culture got in touch with the Indian Space Research Organization to look into some ancient rock paintings found in caves near Charama. The paintings are thought to be around 10,000 years old, and archaeologist J.R. Bhagat was especially fascinated with them. He believes that these paintings might show that ancient humans may have been looking to the stars and wondering about life beyond our planet. Some of the paintings depict large humanoid figures coming down from the sky, and a few of them look like they're wearing helmets or something resembling antenna. There's also a disc-shaped craft with 3 legs, or maybe rays coming out from it. It's pretty hard to look at some of these pieces and not think of aliens. On top of that, there are legends of beings called the Rohela people, or the small-sized ones, who supposedly landed in round flying objects and took people from the village, never to be seen again. Mohenjo-Daro was one of the largest settlements in the Indus Valley civilization, built around 2600 BCE in what is now Pakistan. When excavations began in 1922, when the city was rediscovered, they found skeletons scattered across the streets, many seemingly frozen in time as if they died suddenly and unexpectedly. Bodies were found intertwined, holding hands, lying unburied in the street. The question was, and still is, what caused these people to die, and why weren't they buried? On top of that, the skeletons were found to be radioactive, with levels comparable to those at Hiroshima. David Davenport, a British researcher who dedicated years to studying this site, believed that Mohenjo-Daro was annihilated by a blast similar to an atomic bomb. In his words, there was an epicenter about 50 yards wide where everything was crystallized, fused, or melted. Here's where it gets even stranger. Ancient texts like the Mahabharata describe a cataclysmic event. White hot smoke that was 1,000 times brighter than the sun reduced the city to ashes. According to Davenport, this destruction might have been tied to ancient conflicts involving aliens who could have had a hand in the fall of the city. The Vinča figurines are artifacts which were discovered in what is now Serbia, dating back around 5,500 years. They were created by the Vinča culture, known for having a pretty advanced society long before written history. And these small clay figures often depict animals and humans, or at least humanoids. Just look at these things. They're pretty strange looking. A lot of them have very unusual features. They almost look like reptilian creatures. So what are they supposed to be, and what were they used for? Well, we don't know for sure, but some believe they could represent deities or fertility symbols. Others think they may be representations of extraterrestrial beings. The Sabu Disk is an ancient Egyptian artifact that dates back to around 3000 to 2800 BCE. Discovered in 1936, this disc was found in the tomb of an official named Sabu, hence the name. It's made of schist, a type of stone, and has a really unique design. For the time it was created, that is. Looking at the thing without context, you think it was just a broken off piece of wheel from some kind of machinery or something, scrap metal. But that's exactly what makes this artifact seem so out of place. The thing looks like a steering wheel, but it's highly unlikely to be, so then what is it? Some people think it could have been some sort of ceremonial object, seeing as it was buried in Sabu's tomb. Others think it might have had some sort of practical purpose that we just don't understand. The disc's design just seems way ahead of its time. Could it be a tool that was part of a larger, advanced machine? Is it evidence of extraterrestrial technology, a gift from visitors from another world? Till this day, we still don't know. The Aiud Object was discovered in Romania in 1974. It's this wedge-shaped metal piece that was discovered during construction work. First glance, it might seem pretty ordinary, but it isn't. Some have speculated that it could be of extraterrestrial origin, or just an origin we don't understand. And there are some compelling reasons for that. For one, there's the composition of the material. The wedge contains aluminum and silicon along with other metals, which is strange because aluminum wasn't really known or used until the 19th century. The thing is, the wedge of Aiud was found in sand alongside the bones of mastodons, suggesting it's much older than aluminum technology. And the patina coating the object indicated that it had been lying there for thousands of years, leading some to think it could date back to a time when ancient humans just didn't have the technology to create something like this. This has led to theories that it might have been part of an alien spacecraft, or some kind of other advanced device that they left behind. Could it be evidence of ancient aliens visiting Earth and interacting with our ancestors? Again, we just can't say for sure. But with all that said, I've been your host James, and I'll catch you, yes you specifically, in the next video.